a second to get the stream going. All right. Let me open a couple of things here quick, and we are going to get going. Go. All right. So this again is Prospecting for Success 104. Sphere of Influence Success. And I'm just putting this up on the screen. I do have some breakout sessions for you guys. If you would, you know what, I'm going to put them into the chat right now. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can just email me at wzeltman@brandsbyintegra.com, and I will be happy to send you any of the breakout sessions here. But for the people that, again, that are on Zoom right now, I'm going to put these in here for you so you have them. This is the 4th class in this training. If you missed any of the other 3, we do these every 26 weeks. But we also have all of these available for you on demand. I'm rebuilding my Step Ahead real estate training website, so that will be up and you'll have a learning module sessions in there again. But also we will have this, these are all already on YouTube. And if you go into the playlists, they are under Prospecting for Success. All right. What's that? Star, Greater Tampa or Star. What happened? Oh, there we go. Can everybody see my screen? We good? All right. So again, first week in this course, we went through all of the importance of prospecting, why it was important, why it should be the most important part of your day. In the second week, we went through how to work with for sale by owners. We gave you step-by-step instructions. We gave you, and I need to send these to you as well, because there was the ones I didn't send you. I have a program that you can use that will very much help you with for sale by owners. Last week, we went through advanced prospecting, how to handle phone calls. We did a whole variety of things, and that's a great training. It's the longest training in this series. It's a little bit over an hour. Again, if you missed that one, I highly recommend you watch all 3. They are available, again, on my YouTube at America's Gurus. And I'm going to put that information and my email address in. That's my YouTube, Facebook, whatever, all of them. So if you send me your email address, I will put you on our list for our trainings as well. So there we go. So today, again, is about Sphere of Influence Success. This is usually the first thing. I actually just did a business planning session, and we always say the first people you want to call are the people that you closest to you. So this is actually the first group of people you call. It's the last group I teach. And the reason for that is they're the easiest group of people you can speak to. It's much harder to call a for sale by owner that doesn't know who you are, doesn't necessarily like realtors, doesn't necessarily want to work with you, than it is to call your mom and say, hey, Mom, I just got my real estate license. So that's why we do it that way. But these calls are nonetheless as important. Recent study of the National Association of Realtors showed that 51% of first-time home buyers found their realtor through Sphere of Influence, and 49% of all buyers. So half of your business, if you're doing this right, will come from your Sphere of Influence. If you're here in Florida like I am, I always make the joke, and we actually have a couple that work in this office, but if you find a Florida native capture them because it's easier to find a leprechaun than a Florida native. Why do I bring that up? Because a lot of people here don't have a sphere of influence. They might have just moved here. They might just, there's all kinds of stories. The key is not how big your sphere of influence is today. The key is that every day you build your sphere of influence. And this doesn't matter, this doesn't, wherever you are. I see I got somebody in Hilton Head. In Hilton Head, you got a lot of transients there too. So you're in the same boat. Your buyers are probably not people moving down the street. They're people moving from other places in the country, which is what we have here in the Tampa Bay area as well. So the key is that every day you want to make that sphere of influence bigger and following up with them. And that's what we're going to talk about. So what is a sphere of influence? Very simply, a sphere of influence is everybody that you know. It includes, but is not limited to friends, family, acquaintances. Pay attention to these. People you do business with. So many people over people they do business with. People you give business to, right? Guy cuts your hair, not me. Brendan just had a haircut. Our front desk guy has a haircut this morning. Give cards out. Waiters and waitresses. People in front of you or behind you in the grocery store line or the coffee shop. Members of civic and religious organizations you belong to. Basically, anybody that you come in contact with. Most people, especially realtors, but everybody, they walk around with blinders on all day. And like, man, I just didn't have anybody to talk about real estate today, and I didn't reach my goal. And again, last week, if you didn't take that class, the most important part is we gave you 18 places to find prospects. So there's never going to be a day after you've taken that class that you don't have more people that you could talk to than you actually possibly can. So again, if you haven't taken that, go take that one. But people walk around with blinders. It's funny because I talked to a dating coach one time that I was friends with. He used to do dating coaching for people. And it was the same thing. The biggest complaint they get was they never were around anyone. I never meet anybody. Yeah, you never meet anybody. Why? Because you live your life in that tunnel vision. You get your morning coffee, you go through the drive-through instead of going inside where there's a good-looking girl or a good-looking guy or somebody you can flirt with or whatever. You live your life in a box. You go out and you don't talk to anybody. You don't make eye contact with people. There are all types of things, guys, and people all around you that you're not even thinking about that are potential real estate clients. Your auto mechanic, your waiter or waitress. I mean, they're everywhere. And you need to start viewing every person that you come in touch with as either a potential client or someone that has the potential to know someone else that could become a client. You go to a restaurant every week and they're like, you know what? My sister's looking to buy a house. Boom, you got a business card handed out to them. Let me get her information. I'd be happy to give her a call. Every new agent has leads because each person they've ever met is a potential prospect or referral source. We need to change our mindset. No versus no. The word no here should be used for every person you've ever become acquainted with. And I'm just kind of, going a little more about what we talked about in the last slide, which is stop limiting who it is you talk to. People try to compartmentalize their lives. I talk about this all the time, but all right, my prospecting time is 8 in the morning till 11 a.m. And during that time, they do all these things and whatever. And if you do that every day, 5 days a week, by the way, you're going to make 100 grand in the next 12 months. I promise you, if you're having the right conversations. But then they go out to lunch and they go like this. Again, don't do that. Don't compartmentalize your life. You're going out to lunch and whatever, sit in the front of the place. If you go to a diner, sit at the stools up front where everybody's there and you can hear everybody. Listen to what's going on around you. In the grocery store line, talk to the person in front of you, the person behind you. I had a partner in New Jersey with my ERA franchise, and he always swore about wearing name tags. I don't like wearing name tags. I feel like you work at Best Buy, but but he swore by it because he said, you have no idea how many conversations got started when I was in ShopRite in line. It's a grocery store in Jersey. When I was in ShopRite in line, um, because they saw my name tag. Hell, you're in real estate? What's going on with the market? Blah, 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 blah. And he would say, hey, why don't you give me your info? I'll give you a free market update of your house, or I'll email you what's going on your, in our neighborhood news and whatever else. And it worked for him because he was prepared when he went out to do these things. Okay. No matter who the person is, even if it was a person that was just casual meeting, they belong on your list. Okay. So the first step, and again, some of you guys may have been, I don't know how long you guys have been in the industry. So for some of you, this may be something you did years ago. This is something that you need to do for the rest of your career. Keller Williams does a great training program. At least they used to. I don't think they do anymore because these places aren't around. They probably do something else. But they used to take their new agents and make them stand out at the entrance of a busy mall. That's why I say I don't know if they do it anymore. Who's been to a busy mall in 10 years or more? But he used to go out. They used to go out to the mall and make them hand out 100 business cards before they could leave. And what it taught them was go do these things. The other thing they would do is they would make them write a list. Hey, take the next 20 minutes of this class and write a list of everybody you know. Well, both of those things are in themselves good, but what they don't do is create a follow-through of something that you do forever. You can't possibly name every person that you know, even if I gave you the rest of today. Probably even if I gave you every hour you're going to work for the rest of the week. So what I want you to do with the sheets that I put in the attachments is I want you to print those out and keep them everywhere. Keep one in your office. Keep one on your dining room table. Keep one in your car. And when somebody comes to your mind, fill it out. Then later, you're going to put them in your CRM. But always have these because you're going to be in the weirdest place. You might be in the shower. And all of a sudden, somebody comes, I totally forgot about that person. And you write them down. This will help you build your CRM. So take those forms I gave you, start with that 20 minutes, half hour where you brainstorm, but don't then just say, oh, I got my list and now I'm going to call them and whatever else. No, no, no. I want you to continue to build that list on and on and on and on as you think about people. And that's why if you leave them in prominent places, you'll think about it. Who else do I know to put on that list? And people will come to your mind. Contact management. It's important to store your SOIs in an organized manner. Now, I wrote this a long time ago where people actually still were using paper in some cases. I had people that had the old index cards, and they would put when they were going to do the index cards, and they had them marked and whatever else. And it was like, my God, because this was still in the digital age, but so many people in this industry are not in the digital age. It was like, okay. And it's okay if you still do this, but quite frankly, we have the best tool in our company. I love Moxie Works because Moxie Works keeps everything organized. You can schedule appointments or whatever else. Secondly, we are now going into a partnership with Zillow with Follow Up Boss. So that's going to be available to you guys coming up very, very soon. Whatever system you pick, make sure every contact that you have is placed in the SOI. And I actually just told the story in the business planning course we did right before this. And I know my people here now all know, Jarek, you certainly know the answer to this. So I'll leave this for you guys online that don't know me as well. Every time you put somebody in your contact management, the number one thing that you need to do is create an appointment, a follow-up for the next time that you speak to them. For all of your people that your acquaintances, remember, no, my definition of no, not yours, your new definition of no, you should be speaking to them 4 times a year. If they have a real estate need, you move that up, right? Or they may be giving you a referral, you move that up. But in general, you're going to talk to them 4 times a year. Why? Here's why. Talking to them 4 times a year, and I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but that's okay. Talking to them 4 times a year is going to keep you top of mind. And so when somebody comes to them and they think real estate, you want when somebody says real estate, you want your picture of you to come to their mind. Talking to them 3 times a year will do that. Okay? Again, we'll jump back to this next slide. I get ahead of myself, but it's okay. One of the 4 times, if you know it, should be on their birthday, because that's a free pass. I'm just calling to wish you a happy birthday. So if you do that 4 times, and every time that you're done speaking with them, right as you hang up the phone before you make your next call, you need to put a note in about what you spoke about, because your list is going to get so big you're not going to remember the conversation from 3 months ago. So you remember that they told you their kid was trying out for the football team. Well, you can ask how that went in the next call or whatever the story is, right? And so you put 3 months from now when what you talked about, and you set an appointment for when you're going to talk to them. Now, as that is all said, I always say there's one time when you're with someone that you don't have to put that next appointment. Any guesses when that is? Well, you already knew that. Yeah, yes. Yeah, at their funeral. They're sitting in the box. You don't have to do it. I make that joke to really impress, though, upon you guys how important it is to always have a follow-up with every person you've ever spoken to. Yeah, you've taken this class before, I think. Well, you've heard me say it before. Yeah. All right. So create your initial list. Top realtors add to their list every day. If you go to bed tonight and you had 4 closings, maybe you made $50,000. I had an agent that 2 years in the month of June made over $100,000 in the month. And I was today, you may be feeling good about yourself, but I'll see if you actually work this month in August. Because remember, we're always 2 months ahead, 2 months, right? That contract was 2 months ago or a month and a half ago or whatever. If you go to bed tonight, no matter how well your day went, and you didn't put somebody new in your CRM, I want you to go to bed like you didn't do your job today and have a pit in your stomach. I don't care if you got $100,000 in your hand. I want you to have a pit in your stomach. You need good. And that's what you need to have, that you always are growing it, growing it, growing it. It does not matter if you start with 0 people today because you're in a place where there's, where you don't know anybody or you just move there, but it matters how many you have tomorrow and next week and the week after and the week after. Set goals. I'm going to try to have X number of people by this time. Get their name, their email address, and phone number at a minimum. If you can get a physical address, especially with our great tool, Neighborhood News, that's even better. The open rate on that is like 65%. I've got 10,000 people that get that from me, and I have an open rate over 65%. It's because people want to know what their house is worth and what's going on in their neighborhood. And immediately put all the information into your contact and put them on a plan. How do you find more contacts? Everywhere you go, you should be meeting new people. We've really already talked about this. But if you're at the grocery store, if you go here, we have a Dollar Tree a couple doors down. There's not an employee there that doesn't know me by name. Of course, I'm in there every day getting my water, getting my tea, getting my whatever. But I go in there every day. They know who I am. They have my business cards. They know what I do for a living. I have their information in many cases now. Get in the mindset of adding to that list every day and every person you meet. What else? Attend community events. One of my 18 places to find prospects last week, if you guys were in that class, was to take a different way home from work, right? Why? Because you're going to see things like for sale by owners, but also community events and things that you can attend where you can meet local people. You attend community events, get to know people. One of the biggest things, this is a networking thing, but if you go to a networking event, everybody goes to a networking event, and I always make the joke they want to show their wares, right? Oh, I'm a massage therapist. I'm trying to start this business, and here they're handing their cards out, right? The other one's selling Amway or God knows some other trick project, whatever. You got an investment guy there, or you got, whatever, and they're just pushing themselves. I want you to tell them what you do, but I want you to be more interested in what they tell you. And then what I want you to do, and this is the secret, the next morning, I want you to call every person you collected a business card from. Put them in your CRM and make your first call to them. Hey, you know what? Jerica, it was so great meeting you last night at the whatever event at the yeah, right, at the event. If there's ever anything I can do to help promote your business, I have a social media page with over 50,000 followers on it. If you'd like to, I can put you in there, and you can actually post in there, and I'd be happy to write a little review about your business, blah 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 blah. Guess what? Number one, I followed up with you, and I'm your best friend now, right? Because I cared about your business. And at the end, I'll just say something in passing. And if you happen to know anybody that's looking to buy or sell a house, I'd appreciate you sending my way. Let's keep in touch. And now I'm going to call you every 3 months, 4 times a year, and build this relationship. Guys, it sounds simple. Nobody does it, especially that call the next day. Especially that call the next day. Local business owners. I teach theme days here. One of the things I teach is Wednesdays or Community Outreach Wednesday. If you have a downtown area in the towns that you serve, one of the towns you serve or multiple, go walk the downtown and go in and talk to the business owners. They might be standoffish at first until they find out that you're not trying to sell them anything. Just build a relationship. Ask them, can I do a review of your business? I'll do a quick video review of it, or a written review, or both. What can I do? What can I do? I'd love to recommend you to my friends. And then just ask them, hey, if you happen to hear anything about real estate, I'm trying to really build my real estate brand. We'll talk more about this in another training where we actually teach you how to build strategic partnerships. Actually, we did that last week. So we already did talk about that, building strategic partnerships with local businesses, because local business owners know people, right? At least successful ones do. Tie into it. Become their go-to when it comes to real estate. Everywhere you go and everyone you interact with is a new sphere of influence. Again, open your eyes to the people around you. Say hi to people as they pass you. Who cares how they respond? A certain amount you're gonna get conversations with, and you're gonna build add them to your list. So yeah, you can. So now, thinning your list. Well, why would I want to do that? Well, okay. If I come to you and you say, start talking to you, whatever, and you say your wife or your husband is a realtor, I don't think you're probably going to use me as your realtor if you go to buy or sell a house. Well, maybe, unless it's a divorce, right? Anyway. Anyway. As you get in touch with contacts, what I want you to do is learn that some of them are just going to be more loyal to another person, like a spouse.
Yeah.
Or my daughter's a realtor, or my son, or my father, or whatever. It's part of life. It's nothing to get upset about. So what I want you to do is categorize your SOIs in a way where you can decide how often, and if you should, continue to contact them. You're not going to call somebody's whose husband is a realtor and waste that time when you could be calling somebody that's going to be loyal to you. So thin your list. Categorize. This is a very important thing. I'm going to teach this to you guys in buyers. We already taught this in sellers last week or the week before. But you need to categorize your list into 4 categories, A through D. A is somebody you're almost certain or are certain is going to refer you. Your sister, your mother, your husband, your wife, people that you know. You want to get everybody into category A, and that's your goal, is to get everybody into category A. A B is someone that if you think that you can get them to A, if you build more rapport and trust, you think they'll refer you. Okay, so they're kind of they might refer me, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know if I work with them more, I'll get them to. C is somebody you're not sure. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll also do their other friend that's a realtor. And a D is someone that will never refer you. If you review your SOIs every 6 to 12 months, get the D's out of your list. And again, move those C's. Some of those C's may become B's, and some of those C's might become D's. Get rid of the D's, work the C's, and keep adding more people so it's always filling that pipeline. Again, I'm not going to go through this too much because this is training that is done on our Tech Fridays with Caitlin Byrne. Um, when I wrote this course, I actually wrote this course originally in 2012. I guess I rewrote it in 2017, looking at the copyright. Um, we still had people that were using different types of things. Find your contact system that works for you. As I said, most of our agents here use Moxie. For any of you that are on that don't work for our company, we get a lot of people on that watch me on YouTube that work for whoever. Find what they do. We are also getting Follow Up Boss. You're going to see trainings coming out on that, and you can make your decision. But the key is, no matter what system you use, get new people in your contacts every day and get them on a follow-up plan. How do you contact an SOI? Very simple. Best way to contact them is the way that they are used to talking to you. If you ever had somebody that maybe they were like a Facebook Messenger person. I don't know why anybody uses that stupid. I hate it. I hate it. People send it to me. I don't know, whatever. Just text me. I give you my number. My number's on every bathroom wall, right? We're realtors. We put our number everywhere. Just text me. But anyway, but if you have somebody and that's how they contact you, don't pick up the phone and call them. They're going to be startled. Start there. You can work it and say to them, hey, would you mind if I gave you a phone call so we could discuss this further? Then move to it. But whatever way they're used to being contacted with you, keep it that way. Again, I've got friends from college that is how they talk to me. They keep in touch through Facebook Messenger. If I was going to try to move that relationship towards whatever else, just say, hey, do you mind if I give you a call? I may not even know their number. Hey, what's your number? Systematic touches. Use an initial announcement letter. I gave this to you guys. It's in the chat, and for you guys here, I'll email it to you. But send them a new announcement letter, basically saying, hey, I'm in real estate. Now, if you've been in real estate a while, just do something else, reminding them that you're in real estate. It's activity 2. I already went through this. I jumped ahead and did this, so we're going to go quick. But 4 calls per year. Everybody. Unless they're looking to buy or sell now, it's 4 calls per year. Use the reminder, setting appointments in your CRM. We used to use a calendar back in the olden days, but now you can do it right in there. And call them right around. Oh, look, I got somebody here half my age. She's half my age, and she's using a daily planner. Well, I haven't seen one of those since Reagan was in office. No, I'm kidding. All right. Use whatever you're going to use and set up, as I said before, around the SOI's birthday. It's an easy call. Happy birthday. Add them to your daily prospecting calls. So if you work 60 days per quarter, you have 240 SOIs. That'd be 4 SOIs to call each day. Simple. Talk about adding to your contact list and getting that number that you have to reach every day. In fact, your number is 4. So if you actually had this set up like that, not that I would tell you to just call SOIs, but if you could get in touch with all 4 of them in a day, you've reached your number. Remember that your initial call is to announce or remind that you're in real estate. My 3-3 rule. You tell them your name, you tell them that you're in real estate, and if they or anybody they know has a real estate need, they should contact you. The second part is if you're in person, you hand them 3 business cards. Why 3? So they can hand them out to other people. What other systematic touches can you do to reinforce? Our neighborhood news is one of the best things going if you have their email address and their address. It will tell them everything going on. And like I said, many of our agents have a 60+% open rate on them and a very low unsubscribe rate. Additional calls should continue to build rapport and always end by reminding the SOI that if they or anyone else they know has a real estate need, they should call you. Remember, the third part of the 3-3 is 2-parted, asking if they have business or referral business. Add them to every communication. You should be sending just listed, just sold. That's an email that goes out, by the way, also by Moxie. Your e-newsletters, your mailings, all your announcements, open houses. I'm going to take a 30-second break because I've had too much water. I'll be right back, but we're going to go through some tips for SOI success. How long you been here?
February.
Do what?
February.
February?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You?
Today.
Oh yeah, today's your first day?
Yep.
Okay, fair. You like it so far?
Yeah. How you doing so far? Have you sold a bunch of houses or what?
No, not yet. It's because I haven't really been on to it.
Oh,
I
okay.
had a few issues I had to get out the way. But
Okay.
I do plan on it.
Yeah, no, hey, you know, that.
Yeah. No problem. You can ask for whatever.
Cool.
What about you? What's your goal?
Well, you know, I'm actually new to Florida. I just got here in August.
Okay,
Yeah.
welcome. I've only been here for 5 years. I'm not from Florida either.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I came from, well, I'm from all over, but I came from Colorado.
Oh, I have a friend that lives over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I came from Colorado, basically,
I bet you love it better than
oh yeah, the negative 21 degrees in Colorado was the final deal.
First of all, the word negative turns me off.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
negative anything bad, not
Yeah.
positive.
Exactly, you know, so I was just like, you know, I'm going to Florida.
Yeah.
And,
For
you know,
you.
been here a few months and,
That's good.
and I went and talked to a few different real companies and I like this place the best, so.
Yeah, I like 21.
Yeah.
Got a lot of support.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Pepper pines too.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm not as young as I used to be. I used to be able to drink a gallon of water and a half-gallon iced tea and not have to go, but yeah. All right. SOI tips for success. Get your list all in one place. We've already hammered this home, but I put it in here again because it's that important. You need to be organized and systematic with your people. And as much as I say this and people are like, duh, why are you telling me that again? When I look at what they're doing, they're not doing it. Get a lead, wherever it is, wherever you get it from, immediately that day. Set aside, I always tell people, if you're not in an appointment, whatever the last 15 minutes of your day is, you should be setting your goals for tomorrow, right? What you're going to do tomorrow, not that morning, the day before, and putting everybody you met in your CRM and putting them on a plan. It take you 15 minutes at the end of the day. Get them in one place. Oh, you know what? I got that person, I'm guilty. I've been guilty of this. I was in here one time and I got a call from somebody that wanted me to call somebody, and I put it on a business card and I threw it on my desk. And when I was getting ready to call them, what did I do? I read it off the desk. I didn't put them in the CRM. Don't be lazy. Don't be sloppy. Put them in the CRM and get them on that plan. Oh, that's all right. I got them on a business card. I put them in my cell phone. I'll remember. No, it's a slippery slope and you'll end up having people fall through the gap. Number two, we already went through this. Again, reiteration, contact the prospect the way you normally would contact them. If they're used to hearing about you on Facebook Messenger and you call them, it's going to be awkward. Contact them the same way and then let them know. I'm going to give you a call soon. Take it to the next level, but announce it. You never announce to a girl you're going to kiss her beforehand. You always announce to a prospect that you're going to call them. Hey, not my rules, just the way it is. All right. They will expect your call and it'll be a much easier interaction. Number three, this is an important one. And we have this, every CRM pretty much has this, where you can create categories of people. This is extremely important for us in real estate. I'll give you a couple examples why. If you have a farm, okay, a farm is a geographical area that you send, you know, that basically you don't know anybody when you start, but by the time you're done, you want to be a household name. If you're doing a neighborhood yard sale, okay, if you're me, I have people on my mailing list in every state except Alaska. I actually have somebody on my list in Montana, believe it or not. But I also, before I did real estate, worked for a national healthcare company and was on a field team. So I had people and I managed people and, you know, whatever. So I know people in every state. If I send my buddy, who would get a good kick out of it, if I sent my buddy in Montana an email about a yard sale that's taking place in Newport Richey this weekend, what's he going to do? He's going to delete it. And what else is he going to do? He's going to start looking and being like, oh, another freaking email from Bill, because it's not relevant to him. Even if I have just the Tampa Bay area, and if I'm doing a yard sale in Newport Richey, and you live in Ruskin, unless you're a real junkie for yard sales, you're like, so what? Delete. Not to get into social media, but you guys have taken my social media classes, have heard me say this. That's why you need to be specific when you're creating a social media group.
Yeah.
My Tampa Bay group, I've said this many times, but for you guys that are new, I have a Tampa Bay group that I created in 2016. It's got about 900, I think it's 969 people in it. I have a Newport Richie page that I created on my 50th birthday. I'm 53, so it was February of 2022. It has 45,000 people in it. There are markedly less people in Newport Richie than there are in the greater Tampa Bay area. But if somebody's on there saying what's happening in Ruskin and they live in St. Pete, even though it's both the Tampa Bay area, do they care? It's an hour drive around the bay, right? And vice versa. People want to know what's happening on their block, what's happening in their town. Same thing here. So by categorizing your leads, family and friends, past sellers, past buyers, you could probably put clients together. But farms, I have a River Ridge farm, right? They're going to be different than my other farm because it's in a different geographical location. Categorize them. Understanding your common interests makes it easier to build a deeper rapport. I actually have an agent that when he created a group, he did it for Tampa Bay chess enthusiasts. I'm like, you out of your freaking mind. He doesn't have a big group, but he's got the most loyal people I've ever met in their life, because how many chess enthusiasts are in Tampa? Hundreds, maybe thousands. Small number of that, like 1,000? Yeah, right. Find a model train enthusiast. There you go. Love that. When you're having these conversations, find something that you have in common with that person. And again, you can put that in there as their category. Like if you know somebody that's in the PTA, talk about the schools. However, one side note, nothing negative. I know a lot of agents that are involved in politics. You just alienated 50% of your client base, but whatever. And it's fine with that, but don't go bad mouthing anybody, even in your own party or somebody else. Or if you're school, it's a PTA, it's a perfect example. Don't go bad mouthing the principal. Always talking puppy dogs and ice cream, right? That's what I always say. Puppy dogs and ice cream, positive things. Just like when you post things, everything should be positive. Number 4, activity 2 again. Develop your announcement letter and send it to everybody you know. If you've been in this business a long time, don't do that because they already know you're in real estate. Send them just something announcing that you're going to be getting in touch with them, maybe something new. Be creative here. If you need help being creative, ask ChatGPT for some ideas. That works great. We do that on Tuesdays here. Normally, our Tuesday class, by the way, I'm sorry for anybody that came in here today. Normally, this is a digital mastery class. I had some appointments yesterday. I couldn't, whatever, so I switched yesterday for today. We'll be back to normal schedule next week. All right, number 5. Set up repetitive contacts in your SOI. And again, we said this before, but I'll say it again. Make sure they're scheduled every quarter. When you finish a call, before you make your next call, write down what you talked about so you can keep it as a reference for next time and pick up the conversation where you left off and have that next one scheduled. When you walk in the morning, your Moxie Works or whatever CRM you're using, Follow Up Boss, whatever, should sit there and say, you need to call Joe Smith, you need to call blah, 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 and those appointments will be waiting for you. This will make your life and your prospecting so much easier. Okay, number 6, choose activities to jumpstart building your SOI list. You need to always have business cards on you. I suggest you have 75 and try to give away 75 a day. That means giving them 25 people because you're giving 3 out at a time, right? Have them with you. Give them out. There's a girl, Rosemary Morehouse, took my trainings when she was getting started in real estate back in 2013 or 14. She is now a top producer in Ocean County, New Jersey. And she used to make the joke. Somewhere on Staten Island, Staten Island in New York, that's where everybody throws where the trash dumps go. Yeah. Somewhere in Staten Island, there's a mountain just with my business cards in them. And I said, I love that because that's what's going to make you successful. She did. She handed business cards to everybody. Last I heard, she was making, I don't know what she was, man, I don't want to say because we're in public, whatever here, but she was making huge amounts of money. Like I said, I know she won Circle of Influence Award many times. That was her mentality. Have that mentality. Attend community events. Go out there, fun. We have Fourth Friday in downtown Newport Richey that I always go to. Love it. Get out. Everybody there knows me. I've got my little things all around town because I've created partnerships, my little dog basket things that they hands out the bag with my business card on it with the dog bags and the biscuits. Those things fly and everybody there. And people go, "Oh, you're that guy with the dog," and they see my picture.
Yeah.
Cost me nothing. I got the stuff at the dollar store. Attend community events. I already said that. All right, sorry. Go to HOA meetings. Don't get involved. Please don't get involved by arguing with people, whatever else. Just be there. Explain who you are. Find maybe the person that's grumpy and say, "Hey, you know what? If you're not happy living in this HOA, here's my card. I'd be happy to sell your house. I can get top dollar for it." You'll get business. Visit local businesses. Again, we went through this last week. You need to be building, for lack of a better term, a cartel. Sound like oil drillers, but that's what you want to be, building a cartel of people that you will recommend and they will recommend you. The fair trade. If I tell everybody that your pizzeria is the best in town, will you tell anybody you hear has a real estate need? Give them my cards. I'll give you a bunch of cards. Give me their information so I can call them. The more businesses you can do this with, again, guy that owns a pizzeria in town, he knows everybody, right? Dry cleaner. I don't know if in Florida, but the dry cleaners, some of them, some places, they know everybody, right?
Yeah.
When I was in New Jersey, I went to my dry cleaner every week. I've been to my dry cleaner maybe half dozen times since I'm here. So, yeah. I was in a suit yesterday, by the way. It rarely happens. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right. Join a club or an organization. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in New Jersey, a very, very active Freemason. I was on the state staff. In fact, the Grandmaster and I, for one of the years I was on staff, we played golf together. He lives down here now too. We played golf 3 times a week. So I knew 50,000, 60,000 guys in New Jersey just from being a Freemason and because I was on state staff and traveled around the state. It was a great thing. When I came down here, I joined a Moose Lodge because it was a block from my house. Unfortunately, that Moose Lodge is closed, but Moose Lodge is very different than Freemasons. You just go down there and hang out and sit at the bar. I went down there, and in 1 week, I take that back. In 1 day, I got 3 listings and a sale. And ultimately, all 3 sold. From the 1 listing, I ended up getting another listing, which unfortunately didn't sell because it was $1 million house up in Brooksville. But point being, it was just for me going to be in a regular there, going down and playing little bar games they have on the thing, play left, right, center, or whatever else, and building relationships, join local organizations. Something you enjoy, something you're gonna have fun with. My marina. I've sold 2 people that have boats on my same slip. In fact, one I'm gonna hang out with later tonight. He bought a house down the street from me. The other one's actually, I'm going to sell his house now because he's thinking about retiring to Tennessee, but he bought a house up near me. These things work. All right. Use your sphere of influence as a pipeline for leads, guys. SOIs can provide you with a steady stream of referrals. As I said before, we did this in the first week or 2 of trainings. 51% of first-time home buyers got their realtor through sphere of influence. 49% of all buyers, meaning about 50% of buyers, come from sphere of influence. You need to build your sphere of influence. I don't care how many you have today, like I said before, but every day it needs to get bigger, bigger, bigger. SOI referrals are much easier to deal with because they come with a warm introduction. Never forget, I was with a realtor that she's actually had her real estate licenses since the day I was born. So she got her license in February of 1972. She still does real estate. And she was using our Cardis program, which is our relocation department program. And she had this horrible, horrible customer that was treating her like garbage. And I'm like, they take like 47% of your sale, but She was making over 100 grand just doing Cardis deals, whatever. I said, you do understand that this person, there's no skin in the game for how they treat you. If I recommended you to my friend that's a realtor, and you know that, we're friends and whatever, you're going to be on your best behavior, knowing that that realtor's a friend of mine, right? And there's a politeness and whatever else. If you got my number because you work for IBM and you're using the corporate thing, what loyalty do you have to me? None. When you talk to a friend, they're going to treat you differently, or a sphere of influence, somebody you're talking to all the time, better than the stranger off the street. The for sale by owner, which I am a huge proponent. If you were in my class 2 weeks ago, you know this. Huge proponent, and that's one of the trainings I sent you to do, of working for sell by owners, because there's so much money in it. But you got to build that relationship. Sphere of influence, that relationship's built. When you go into somebody's house to do a listing appointment that you've been calling for the last 3 years every quarter, do you have to build a relationship? No, you pick up right where you left off, and it's a layup most of the time, not everything.
Most of the time.
So make SOIs a part of your daily strategy, and make sure you call every SOI at least once a quarter. Any questions for me, please do not write down that phone number. I do not have that number anymore. It's my New Jersey number. All right, I got Carl, thank you. I got your email address. Again, anybody else, you can just email me or whatever else too. Let me, before I do anything, let's stop the share here and get us off. Thank you to everybody that joined us on our live feed on YouTube. I'm going to close that out right now.
Thank you.